Sonar has inbound, sir.
Coming in hot.
They look like people.
Brace for impact.
By the gods.
Every day the surface dwellers grow stronger. They have guardians with powers.
I say, we break the seal on the Atlantean war plans.
Our only hope for peaceful existence with the surface dwellers is with the one who is of both worlds. My other son.
What are you?
I wish I knew, pal.
They will destroy this planet and take Atlantis with it. We must protect our people and attack!
This is genocide. Billions will die.
Find Arthur Curry. Fast. Is Atlantis everything you dreamed of, brother?
This is your birthright, Arthur.
I'm in.
Join me, and we will bridge those worlds in peace. Kill the humans! Attack! I will cleanse the surface. This is war!
He needs a code name.
Well, online they're calling him Aquaman.
Hate that.
Aquaman it is.
Are they going to dye Jason Momoa's hair blonde? I don't understand why they continue to push this version of Arthur Curry when it doesn't seem they're going that direction on the big screen. And I think these animated movies are invaluable in kind of sowing the seeds for what you're going to see on the big screen. As you can see, Shazam is included here. Cyborg, promoted to the Justice League as he is in the comics. These are all things you're going to be seeing in the movies very soon. But not that soon, actually, which is, I think, is one of the reasons people are starting to pay so much attention to DC's animated movies. They're the only game in town. That's one thing. You could also argue that DC animation has become so good that it's worthy of the attention of the movie-going audience. That's one of the reasons I'm covering this trailer on Beyond the Trailer. I was so surprised to see some other movie trailer YouTube channels pick up this trailer. So I was like, well, if this is the way we're going, I might as well jump on the bandwagon. And also, DC Comics is becoming quite the brand. Not only are we seeing this trailer picked up by movie trailer YouTube channels, but I was coming into work today and I saw a bus with an ad for Constantine, and very big under Constantine it said, from DC Comics, being like, you love comic book stuff, right? You've got to watch Constantine. And I thought that was so interesting that, for so long comic books have been niche entertainment, but they've become so popular in the movies, largely thanks to Marvel. Sorry, DC fans, but you're gaining, I think, with the inclusion of this movie in this way, as I'm saying, and this Constantine ad. But they've become so popular that suddenly everybody's interested in comic book material. I wish they'd be interested in actually reading some comic books. Maybe we'll get there too. But right now we're seeing, I guess this is the beginning maybe of a wave of change. Very interesting. But I do think this is a missed opportunity to kind of give your new Aquaman. Maybe they don't want to spoil it. Maybe they don't want to give it away. Maybe Jason Momoa has a really cool look that they want to reveal in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. But that also speaks to another problem I think they're having here, in that they kind of need to nail down one continuity. We're getting to a point where you're like, well, that was fun, but I'm not really, you're not invested. I mean, Marvel's been so brilliant in that you have to see every Marvel movie or you'll miss what's happening in the story. There was a great Saturday Night Live sketch, as many of you sent to me and was covered extensively in the press over the weekend. Chris Pratt did a comedic ad for upcoming Marvel movies where Marvel realized you'd see anything, like fancy ghosts and the shopping carts. And I think that it wasn't so much that it was the Marvel brand that people trusted in, but people were emotionally invested in the story that Marvel is telling. So whatever chapter's up, you've got to check it out. And so I really think that's what is going on there. And I think DC needs to do that. I think that, for instance, Batman Assault on Arkham, very good animated movie about the Suicide Squad, that really needs to tie, and it ties into the video games, but those things need to tie into the movies as well. They really need to get a Kevin Feige, someone who's just in charge of this entire area, and nail it down so that people become emotionally invested in the DC cinematic universe, or just the DC, media universe, I guess you could say. Now, as for the trailer itself, I really don't like what Mera is wearing. Mera, of course, is Aquaman's lady friend. I think they get married. I'm not sure. I don't know if they ever got married. In the comics, she has a cool power where she can control the water telekinetically, kind of like an Aqua Jean Grey. And she doesn't seem to have that capability here, which makes her character much less cool. And I just don't like the costume. I think the costumes in general for Atlantis seem very Amazon. I'd be like, hey, are you guys like separated at birth, or your civilization separated at birth? You're very similar. I'm also disappointed to see them carrying over that same Wonder Woman from before. Not a fan of that version of the character either. But, Mera, I like the way she looks in the comics, and she looks too Wonder Woman-y, and to the point where at first I was like, is that another Amazon with them? And I have no idea why she's there with them, the Justice League, before Aquaman. Maybe because she helps the Justice League discover Aquaman. You see a lot of the trademark humor that I think Jeff Johns so intelligently and crucially injected into the character, because he's the butt of so many jokes. I think that Jeff Johns very cleverly said, you know what, Aquaman, the franchise is going to embrace that. He's going to be aware that people make fun of him and deal with it. And it's going to make him, I think, more relatable and likable, because, he's not like this untouchable superhero. It gives him some dimension. I'm the king of the sea, but everyone on Earth thinks I'm a walking or swimming joke. So I think that's a good decision, and I'm glad to see it carried over here. I wish this was just an Aquaman origin story. I don't know why the Justice League needs to be involved. Hopefully that won't take away too much from the character development. And I'm a little lost because this Queen of Atlantis, who has 2 sons, that character has never really been introduced in the comics, at least the ones that I've been reading from Aquaman. She's always been a mystery, Arthur's mother, and you always start with him in the lighthouse by the sea with his human father. Kind of like the dark side of The Little Mermaid, where Eric is left with an illegitimate child on Earth. So that would be an amusing take on that as well, to kind of acknowledge that. And so I always kind of like that reverse depiction of that classic man meets mystical creature story. And that would have been fun, but it looks like maybe they're going in the opposite direction. I don't know. I think it's very important in every story who you choose to be your focal point, who the protagonist is, who audiences relate to. And here I'm not quite sure who it's supposed to be. Are we telling this from the point of view of Atlantis, Mera, the Justice League, or maybe even Arthur Curry? So I'm curious to what you think. What do you think of the rise of the DC animated movie? Is it about time? What do you think this will mean for the movies, the live action movies? And do you think this was a missed opportunity to try and shift things at least a little bit in the direction of Jason Momoa? Or what do you think if Jason Momoa shows up blonde? What do you think of that? Do you think that's a good idea? And does it just look like a good movie to you? Write your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for tuning into my review, and you can check out some more episodes right now.